See, it's funny. You said get us rolling, and we're using dice.
So welcome back, guys. It's been a month.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying a month and not, a
while.
Yeah. So for everyone listening, we're playing in the middle of February, and the last time we actually got together was
December something.
Nope, it was
January.
January 8th.
Yep, we had one session.
One session in January.
We were like a month where December was like no games because December, and then we're like,
holiday, sickness, moving,
uh-huh.
tax season. I think everything fell down. So I'll take the recap, but first, welcome to the Average Adventuring Party podcast, where all the party really wants is an honest week's pay for an honest day's work.
Yeah. I mean, every time we've tried to do honest work, it's ended very well.
No, I want to kill.
Okay, murder potato.
That can be honest work.
Well, she's honest about it,
Yeah.
and it is solid work.
That's
so
true.
that falls into
you
honest
get
work.
paid good.
Yeah.
We just need to find you a contract that involves assassination.
Oh, there you go.
Contract killer.
Okay, there's Suna, go.
Yeah,
There's your target, go.
here's your murderer. And it's like, where? Looks down. Oh.
And your target will be like, oh, it's so cute, while you stab it.
It hurts, but it's still so cute. So I think I'll take the recap on this one since it's been a while.
No, I'm not saying it.
See, we're good. We're being good.
I'm disappointed in all of you.
I am trying so hard not to.
When last we left, you guys went swimming in a great big puddle of drool.
Yes.
Yay.
You
Fine.
were attacked by Weird Swift Prime in all of her beautiful caterpillary metamorphosy glory.
She was beautiful.
She was horrifyingly beautiful indeed.
She was Mothra.
Galdrian has a 20-something charisma. She had a negative 20 charisma. It's so horrifying, but you can't look away. You captured her power, right? Put it in the statue.
Mm-hmm.
Left Nettles to update the ancients in the shattered remains of the city of Believe.
Mm-hmm.
Went back to Overlook. Freed Proud Scream from his magical imprisonment in a set of enchanted armor.
Mm-hmm.
And realized that the entirety of the Sovereignty troop had just up and disappeared on Great Big Birds, while the commander, one of her mages, and a sort of short, chubby elf disappeared into her tent and never came out.
So I'm going to have words with Kyoshi.
In my mind, I'm hearing the Imperial troops like fast marching out, going nope, 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 nope.
Essentially.
Yeah.
That's where we left off. Was you guys getting a good rest? Proud Scream being carted away by his men to be taken care of because he'd been locked in that set of armor for a while. We'll say Galdrian and Ardith looking out longingly to the west. I'm sorry, to the east. But finding no sign of Shannara.
Hey, as long as she's not here, they called her. We're okay for a little bit.
Oh, speaking of, since it, I almost forgot, but it's in my notes. Someone, who shall remain nameless,
Why are you looking at me?
because it was you,
Oh.
reminded Death that there was one of you
Oh, yeah!
that was isolated away from the rest of the party, and you promptly blipped out of existence to go after her.
Well, I did not realize that is what I was doing.
Maybe don't talk at all.
You stab things and eat cookies. That's your
Yep.
job. You have a role.
From now on, if Suna wants to murder something, she should just not say anything and just do it.
Who was it that almost blabbed to those elders about what the statue was? Was that Suna or Galdrian?
That was Suna.
It's just Suna.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not
I
talking.
mean,
To be fair, I was the one who blabbed to the elders that it was a dragon. But they already knew that, so.
Yeah, they already.
I was trying to help.
I will try.
Don't lie, but don't tell the truth.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Like, when we make some it's like, stop talking, stop talking.
That doesn't mean kill.
Your symbolism needs to change. Like, cut it out, okay? Let you kill Joe.
Okay, this, maybe, clamping your gold mouth shut.
Okay.
Okay?
That means
Okay.
crush him with a boulder.
Oh, I like that one too.
No, that means shapeshift into a crab and use crab claws to
Yes,
punch it.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Go for the vital areas.
So,
I could just use my frying pan and whap them instead of my sword.
Yeah.
so having said all that, I don't think you have a sword. You have a staff.
Staff, I knew what I meant.
Do
The sword
you?
will turn around.
She stole Galdrian's sword.
Anyway, you guys spent the night in,
Oh, so I get my dailies back.
yes, in
Thank God.
Proud Scream's Mountaineer Guard barracks, which is to say you just got a wing of it for new recruits. So it's pretty much you guys in bunk beds. And when you wake up, they're serving gruel and eggs, oatmeal, that kind of thing.
Galdrian will go ahead and get some. He's not above gruel and eggs.
I don't think anybody here is except for maybe Suna.
Say I'll probably go for the oatmeal.
I mean, it's bland.
I mean, I dig a little spices out of my little pockets and add my own little spice to it.
Yeah.
It's sugar and butter.
Cinnamon.
Yeah, you've probably got goat butter.
that's I wonder if that guy's even still alive.
Suddenly, Galdrian remembers that someone owes him bacon.
In this town.
If you'd like to provide it for the entire barracks, you can.
That's true.
You just walk up to him and say, I will require 1,000 pounds of bacon, please. Yeah, Proud Scream, he's not here. All of his men are, though, and at least one of them comes by and thanks you for setting the commander free.
Well, it's my pleasure to free Proud Scream. He's a good man. He assisted us in our hour of need, and I will always repay debts owed.
Trust me, he will. It gets annoying sometimes.
The doc says he's going to be out for a while, so
I predict he'll probably be up before any of us is ready for him.
at which point you see like the morning guard go out for their jog, and at least 6 guys are carrying Proud Scream on a palanquin, and he's jogging. They're jogging along beside the men, and he's shouting orders.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Can't keep a man like that down.
Or his voice.
Wouldn't have it any other way. Well, let's see how the good commander is doing. And Galdrian's going to jog. Oh man, I'm so out of shape. He's gonna try to catch up to them, and
Yeah, Proud Scream's yelling to the troops. I'm not even on my feet, and I'm faster than you. And they'll run him by, and whenever he sees a cadet sort of flagging behind, he'll just swat him with his baton. He sees you, waves, sees someone who stops jogging, focusing on jogging, looks over to see who he's waving to. Proud Scream smacks him in the back of the head with the baton.
yes, I tend to be a distracting influence. My apologies. I just wanted to properly thank you, Commander, for your assistance with the Sunchaser Sovereignty troops.
It's my town. It's what we're here for.
And as Galdrian's continue to jog with them, clearly he's keeping up, but he's having to put some effort into it.
Oh yeah, you can keep up with Proud Scream's guys pretty easily.
Oh, okay, in that case.
He's a hefty dude.
Okay. So I see. Not to talk business while you are still recovering, but I believe we spoke to you about the dragon problem?
Oh, yes.
Well, it is a problem we will have to solve ourselves, but I would like to make sure that the Mountaineer Guard is prepared in case of another kobold attack.
Oh, I think we're doing fine. We've got a new batch of recruits, and I'll be on my feet in no time.
Have you been informed of the situation in Believe, Commander?
No.
There is no more Believe.
That is unbelievable.
You just wait for that one.
Gosh.
The kobolds attacked, and essentially there are only a few survivors in the town. I believe an individual named Nettles is leading the survivors right now.
He stops and gives a whistle, and a couple of guys start running over. He says, "Prepare the rescue teams!" And they, give him a salute, start running off and gathering recruits. He says, "We'll send somebody down there."
Excellent. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. There have been attacks across the caldera. Entire villages destroyed by the kobolds. Gamas, I think it was Gamas, right? Yeah. Gamas has also been overrun by the kobolds.
I'm not familiar, but that's terrible.
Yes, I'm actually... I'm thinking that it might be best to summon what survivors we can to more defensible positions, strengthen numbers and all that.
Well, we'll find anyone we can, see what's left of the outposts, and if we have to, we'll drag them all back here. The city is quite defendable with the mountains and the pass behind us.
Yes, and I would suggest that we make preparations perhaps to, in case things go completely tits up, we should probably consider the possibility of evacuating through the pass.
Well, that'll be a tough sell for some of the inhabitants. The dwarves, the ogres, the half-giants, they won't leave.
But those who will, we should probably make preparations just in case.
I'll send a delegate down to the Frost Elves, see if they can help us.
Thank you, Commander. We'll be hoping to strike before it comes to that, but I can't guarantee that this enemy will not move on the city.
I guess they'll come jogging up. Hey, were you trying to get the recruits? We were going to block off the pass, remember? We're going to attack. We're gonna stir up some trouble there. Aren't we afraid of more kobolds coming out? Were you talking?
Yeah, well, the pass out of the caldera.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I saw Proud Scream over here. And
You're thinking of the dragon flare.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
We're trying to contain the problem, Proud Scream. It was bad out there.
Proud Scream says, "Excuse me one moment. Scribe!" And, this young elven kid comes running over. "How's your Elvish?" Kid looks at him. So. "Get a warm hat, boy. You're going down the mountain." And the kid just kind of turns white. Yes, sir.
I'll give you a few phrases just in case.
He runs off. Proud Scream says, "Well, I'm sure he'll be fine. The mountain's not that dangerous if you know what you're doing."
I had no problem with them.
Exactly.
We did all right.
Well, what are your plans then?
We're going to be heading to the north.
We're going to attack the dragon right in his lair.
No.
We're going to the
No.
old dragon's lair.
Oh, yeah. Well, it said dragon's lair on the top of the map, right?
Yeah, but where Kemet's going to come out. Okay.
But Iacus thinks he's attacking the dragon in the lair.
You're precious.
The scribe comes running back up, and Proud Scream says, "Hold on a moment." And he looks at the scribe, says, "Give me one of those pass thingies." And the scribe kind of like pats himself, and now he's got on a big thick jacket and kind of one of those what do you call them, like the mamushka hats, and reaches into one of his pockets and pulls out a couple of different pieces of paper, holds them out to Proud Scream. Proud Scream points at one, signs his name to it, holds it out to Galdrims. This should allow you to reprovision in any outpost.
Oh, thank you for reminding me, Commander. There's something else. Do you have any mages in the Mountaineer Guard?
Sure. I mean, as far as practical mages go.
It would be useful if you had some method to magically confirm the species of each of your men via some sort of examination.
That needs clarification.
When you remember the murders that took place here,
Yes.
when the cultists first struck, they had taken the form of other beings. I suspect that there are probably some embedded within the ranks of the Mountaineer Guard.
All right. I'll figure something out.
Some sort of draconic litmus test.
Are you a dragon? No? Well, he seems good.
Surprisingly, sometimes you can catch them off guard by just asking. I'll talk to my men.
Thank you. With that, we're going to begin our preparations to head north.
By all means, and he just kind of gestures towards the barracks. If there's anything we can provide you.
Just rest has been a massive help.
I've gotten more rest over the last week than I care to admit. It's just made me want to go out and plant my sandal into something.
Iacus is trying to figure out if that's a euphemism.
There's a shirt for you. Go point at your sandal.
Well, we're hoping to plant a dagger up a dragon's cloaca, so...
So, yeah, Proud Scream points at the barracks, says, if you need anything. And then he notices one of the men sort of like slacking off, talking to somebody else. And he's, forward! And his men, who have just kind of been jogging in place, carry him up to that group who see him coming and take off.
I don't have to run fast today. I just have to run faster than the heavy paladin.
It's okay. Proud Scream has a long memory.
So when they get back from their jog, Suna has went through everybody's stuff and made sure they all have food again and restuffed everything, and is trying to figure out how to fit some blankets and stuff in her backpack, and maybe whatever else she can find.
Suna has found the maid's cart and is pilfering. I don't know why, but I have all these shower caps.
You never know when you'll need a shower cap.
Got one on each ear, one for on her tail.
Stretched one across Iacus's horns. Just covers like this long.
No, I like to think Iacus puts it on his horn and just like punches a hole through it. Yes, effective. Yeah, you get a bunch of iron rations. So a lot of like hardtack. It's gonna stay good forever, basically. Salted meat.
Yeah.
There's plenty of like coarse woolen blankets.
Effective.
Nothing fancy, but it'll keep you warm.
I'm just stuffing it all in their bags and stuff, making sure theirs is heavier than mine.
That tracks.
Wow, Suna. In the month since we played, Suna has become chaotic dickbag.
No.
So,
She's a fox.
while you're going through people's things, who has the statue?
Isn't that my job?
I was gonna say, I thought Ardith did.
I think Ardith does at this
So
point.
did I not see it?
Ardith has it.
Oh, if I'm in charge of that thing, it's on me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It has its own little bag now.
Okay.
Yes, I remember you got it in its own bag.
Yeah, it does not need to blow up my art supplies. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
we had that
That's right. That's
discussion.
right.
All right.
You know what linseed oil does when it gets hot? Boom!
Oh, Galdrian probably does need to buy a new loot because his is waterlogged.
Well, not exactly.
It's snot log. Drool log.
Yeah, we'll say, over the last day, Galdrian has probably picked at it a little bit, but it has swollen from the inside out.
Yeah, that's ruined.
Yeah, it's done.
Like,
We can save it and smash it against something now.
no, he's probably going to see what other instruments are available in the barracks, preferably one-handed ones.
In the barracks, none.
But in the probably go out into overlook proper.
Yeah. There's a shop that sells just sort of general goods, and it has a fine selection of below average instruments for above average prices.
Overlook. How I've missed you.
I mean, use some of that charisma and charm them and haggle.
Yeah, Galdrian's gonna go ahead and try to haggle with him.
Yep.
With a bit of a trade that he'll tune up some of them, make them sound a little bit better.
Hello, I am Galdrian, and this is my favorite shop on the Citadel.
So
Yeah, give me a charisma check.
let's say +9 plus. This is very clearly minstrel territory.
Oh yeah.
If you bring that price down, I'll play with your loot.
That's 8 on the die.
I'll
plus
pluck your strings.
17. So that's a 22.
22? Yeah, we'll say that you can probably get, you look through the pile, because at some point there is just a literal pile of loots, and at least one of them is well used and well maintained, and you can probably pick it up for 50 silver.
That'll work.
I'll buy it for you if you want me to.
Sure.
Because no one's let me use my money.
Okay.
You keep paying for shit out of party funds.
That's because it's for the party.
Yes.
We'll say that this is definitely a Sunchaser Sovereignty item, so it's red lacquered. It's probably got some super cool bamboo accents.
Yeah, it's not a bad second-hand find.
Galdrian just starts trolling through all the garage sales. Look, I found this tuba.
No.
Hey, if it's a sousaphone, it should give me an increase to my armor class.
It also comes with crush damage whenever he's hit.
Whenever Galdrian eventually goes down, you can make a final attack.
Galdrian going down.
Wow.
That's how you know he's a true hero. I mean, not for DC. Right, so eventually we'll say it's probably maybe 8 in the morning. It's real early still. Proud Scream had his men up early.
I mean, military.
Yeah, military.
And is the Dreaming Dark still an issue, whenever we were coming back? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I didn't think we handled anything with it.
No, if you recall, Nettles actually gave you some not acorns,
The fast travel.
seeds
yeah,
that let you
seeds,
travel so that you could get here before dark.
Yeah.
If you look at that map, which I don't.
What map?
Yeah, I don't know where my
Yeah, I see the map right there. Yeah.
I don't know where my physical maps went, but it's probably about 20 miles. The good news is, as you were coming in, you saw most of that had been burned down, so you don't have to trek through tall grass.
Can I find a little rickshaw cart around town?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can probably just find one for free that the soldiers abandoned.
All right, guys, hop in.
Are we heading out now? Anyone else need anything before we leave?
Shouldn't.
All right. Alright, I guess.
One of Proud Scream's men comes running up to you and says, from the commander, and there's clearly just like this cloth bag that's clinking as he runs up to you and holds it out.
And Galdrian will take it with one hand. It wasn't necessary for him to give us a gift, but I appreciate it.
He said it's from his private reserve.
Ooh. And Galdrian opens it up thinking that maybe it's going to be a drink or something.
There are, in fact, drinks in here, but they are potions.
Oh.
Even
And
better.
there's very clearly one that is labeled "Do not drink" in Proud Scream's, just like gigantic
All
slashing
caps,
hand.
yeah.
We need to find Shannara as soon as we tend to all this.
Again, Kiyoshi and I are going to have some words.
I'm going to put a boot up some Sun Chaser Sovereignty asses if they've laid so much as a finger on her.
You got to get in line, buddy.
Yep. You're gonna
There's two in front of you.
yes.
So
All right.
everybody loads up on the cart.
Yep.
I'll grab it.
So, last time Iacus took off out of the city, he just kind of bounded down the mountain. And I assume,
I'm not going to jump down the cliffside with people following me.
yeah, I assume you're going down the actual
The
path.
path, yes.
So when you hit the bottom, you've done this a couple of times, and you're always kind of greeted by this sort of slow, windy descent into the tall grass. And now it is just ash fields as far as you can see.
Pull up my bandana.
Yeah. I thought the same.
Yeah, if you're going behind Iacus, you're getting a lot of dust kicked up in your face.
Suna's gonna pull out one of the washcloths that I stole and put it over my face.
You have a handkerchief, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, good.
What kind of bard would I be if I didn't have a
I'm just
handkerchief?
making sure, honey. Yeah.
It might even be unused.
Yeah.
Yeah, you make good time as you pass by the outposts.
Mhm.
You can see that while the buildings are still standing, most of everything else is not.
Yeah.
Like all the fence posts, all the guard towers, all that stuff.
We're heading up past our half-giant friend, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
He does not appear to be
Sad day.
in that location.
Does anyone appear to be in that location?
Nope.
There's no like big
Yeah.
ant piles or nothing like before.
No, I mean you can now clearly see ant piles
Yeah.
like off in the grass. You know, they have those really cool like tall mud structures, but
No ants.
they're scorched.
Yeah.
No signs of.
No, they're fire ants.
If we go through the outpost, do we see any? Can we do a quick cursory glance around, see if they left anything behind?
Oh yeah. You go inside. There, if you recall, there was a big like canteen style building, and then there was a 2-story building for the guard
Look out.
post,
Yeah.
and they are both empty. Everything inside has either been burned or smashed, but there are no bodies or anything like that.
Can we check really quickly and see if there's any if there was a bolt hole or cellar or anything that people might have went to?
Oh yeah. I'll just give you because you're pretty heavy. Like you can
Yeah.
feel it.
Yeah.
The-
Just double checking.
Yeah, when you were in here last, the floors were wood with
Mhm.
planks, and they're burned down to the ground. So,
Okay.
but the buildings themselves were that what do you call it? That like clay adobe
Mhm.
style, and
Stucco.
yeah, stucco, and so they're pretty heat resistant, but they are scorched inside and out. It really looks like somebody set just a fire that raged this way.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Well, while they were all looking around, I'm kind of just sitting in the town, meditating, but kind of giving the town the nature a blessing for regrowth from burning and stuff.
Okay.
While they were looking around.
Speaking of,
Okay.
would you like to use your contemplation in any way?
Yes.
So, just since it's been a while since we played, just reminding you that you have
A thing.
a thing.
Yes.
To do a thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're going up towards the. No, I don't want to use that one.
You cannot justify ocean. I'm sorry. There's an ocean
Sure.
1,000 miles away from here.
There's an ocean underneath it. It might be lava, but
Ha, joke's on you guys. This whole continent's just floating on top of the ocean.
Are we going near a volcano?
You are in a volcano, yes.
Okay, I'd like to use that one.
Okay.
When an enemy engages me, I deal fire damage equal to my level to them.
That is your responsibility to remember.
That's really useful
So-
against rad dragons.
Hey,
So now that Suna has finally embraced the inner volcano, what does it look like?
That's okay. I don't think everything we're gonna fight is gonna be a
yeah, I
kobold.
was gonna say. I mean, I don't know what else. Nothing else is really that good.
Huh, joke's on you. You're all kobolds now.
Oh, cool.
That was a
Kobold.
kobold.
Oh, that one might be good, I guess.
Turns out we were just rebel kobolds.
Because we're about to go into caves and stuff, aren't we?
Yeah.
maybe.
Who knows?
Well, it's either that or I can sense tremors and subtle echoes in the air and
You are not
even in
currently
total
in a cave.
darkness.
Yeah, we're not currently in a cave, so
Not currently in a cave.
let's keep the fire damage.
Okay. Ooh, so I get, like my acorns, little red, what is it called? Aura around me.
You guys look up and Suna is simultaneously on fire and not on fire at any given point.
I'm gonna go and try and pat her out. You okay?
What are you doing?
Oh, you're on fire.
No,
There was just a big fire
do
here.
I look like I'm yelling?
Yes.
Yes.
I-
Because I was patting
I
you and you're
was
like,
blessing the land and
I
helping
think you did it wrong.
And why do you think that?
Fire?
There's fire everywhere and you're on fire.
Well then good. Whoever touches me that is my enemy will get hurt.
I just pulls his hand back.
You are not my enemy. Did you get hurt?
For now.
Not yet.
Okay. Do you plan on becoming my enemy? Is there something I need to know?
Is there something I need to know? Giving side eyes at the fox. I'll pick up the rickshaw again. I guess we're ready to go, guys.
Yeah, it doesn't burn the cart unless you want it to.
Please don't want to.
No.
I will smack you if you wanted to.
No.
I'd like to think it's the equivalent of Suna just like rapidly rubbing her feet on the carpet, walking up to it, setting it on fire.
I mean, that's what I do.
Yeah, so it takes you a couple of hours. Off in the distance, I believe to the northwest, is the dwarven settlement of Mair, which had, as you recall, gigantic wooden log walls, like the vertical logs.
Very not fireproof.
Yeah.
Actually, they're still standing.
Oh, impressive.
As far as you can, it's miles that way, but it looks like the fort is still standing. It honestly doesn't look like the fire came that close to it.
Okay, so even though it's miles away, any signs of like life or anything like that? Okay.
Yeah, you can see, probably Galdry and Ardith can see because they have
Special eyes.
special eyes. What do you see with your
Those
elf
elf
eye?
eyes, yeah.
Yeah, you can see. I can see time. Just, no.
I can see clearly.
If they come for us, my company. Do you want to dispute this copyright claim? No.
No, it was this asshole. He's right there.
Yeah, no, you can see dwarves on the parapets of the walls.
Good.
Do we want divert it all and get them to cover if there's any outflow? Like let them know that there might be some rampaging kobolds again, or keep going to the caves as I'm trotting along?
What does everyone think? It would be a detour, but they would be potential allies. Not that they can necessarily move against the dragons directly because of the treaties, but I think they may be able to lend us some assistance.
I think we should warn them, if nothing else, but we're making better time than we would have if y'all were just trotting along.
Yeah, you have a walk speed that's like twice these guys.
You're a monk.
Yeah. Go ahead and make me an intelligence check, Iacus. What with that fancy Forgotten Draconic library?
Okay, so that is 20.
20. So Galdrian said something about the dwarves not being able to interfere with the dragons because of treaties.
Mm-hmm.
Those treaties only refer to dwarves on the Obsidian Isles.
Hey, by the way, funny story. The old treaties actually only talk about the Obsidian Isles, so the dwarves could help.
Ah, good to know.
Yeah.
In that case, let's definitely make a detour. I think it'd be worth the wait, at least get an audience with them and let them know what's going to happen.
I promise not to kill unless you tell me to.
No killing dwarves.
I
Dwarves,
promise
dwarf-
not to kill unless you tell me to.
That's the best kind of promise you
Unless-
can get from her.
Yeah.
Like, there's no argument. Heard. Yes.
I
Cross your
appreciate that.
fingers.
Yeah.
Here's my pause.
Sorry, the pause.
Dwarf that is not part of a draconic cult equals friend.
I'm not going to go that far. I haven't
Yeah.
met them yet. I've got plenty of non-draconic
Potential
assholes.
friend.
Okay, there. Yeah. I will
I'm surprised he's still alive.
I will actually
that
try to
mindset.
run
That's
faster.
what I'm here for.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
Okay, makes sense.
I'm going to hurry to the dwarves settlement since we actually have a
My ear.
destination in mind.
Yeah, you guys.
So it gets a little bumpy for you guys.
Woohoo!
You're able to get there pretty quickly.
Someone's going to lend us my axe, my bow, and my ear.
And your brother. Right. So, Iacus double times it to this large wooden structure, and pretty much, like, once you come into line of sight, you have no less than, I'll say, a dozen guards, like, pointing crossbows at you.
As an aside, all I can see are these dwarves who have just seen the plains burn down, and they see a fucking minotaur just hauling ass carrying 2 elves and a fox. Like,
Would you say he's hoofing it?
yeah. I'm mentally picturing this, and I'm thinking what the dwarves are thinking. Like, nope, level that fucking crossbow right fucking now.
Sir, we've got a minotaur? I'm sorry, what?
He's charging.
We've got a code beef. There's the episode name.
Yeah. Grill him.
Your kind are really rare around here.
Are any of the dwarfs wearing red?
No, actually,
Okay.
so as you get closer to them, so one of them yells out for you to halt.
Galdrian smacks into your back.
Yeah, drifting.
Most of them are very humanoid,
Mhm.
right? But a good portion of them are very either metallic or stony in appearance. And they're wearing this sort of green and silver, what would you call it, tabard over their armor that has what looks like a falling meteor. At which point this dwarf stands up. He's climbed up the tower over the gate and says, "I am Jay of Clan."
Silent Bob.
I was going to say Clan Starscream, but that's not right. It says, "I'm Jay of Clan Starshear. What brings you here?"
We are seeking an audience. We are headed to the north and wanted to provide warning of a possible draconic attack.
Well, we've already had one.
There may be another in your near immediate future.
He lets out a whistle, and the gates start to open up.
You mind if we come in?
One of the guards keeps his crossbow on you, but motions you forward.
Hey, isn't Jasmine here?
Oh.
No.
No, he was in one of the cities. I think.
He's an overlook.
Okay.
I'll set the rickshaw down and say, all right, guys, let's go.
You parking out here?
Yeah, I'm parking it out front.
Make sure to face it away from the fort, just in case you
Yeah.
fast get away.
Yeah. Right. We'll go inside and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you get inside, and that dwarf is there, and he's got a couple of patches of like stony skin, but his beard is just made out of these very fine gemstones. So think like individual hairs that are just made out of gems. And he holds up a hand. That's far enough. You said you come to resupply and bring warning.
First off, greetings, Jay of Clan Starshire.
Yes.
Iacus.
It is, I will say, an interesting meeting.
I get that a lot.
yes, I imagine you don't get many of his kind around here.
We are an insular people,
Yes,
so we don't get many of anybody but our own kind.
Well, I'm actually somewhat familiar with your people. I've come across a few enclaves in my past, but mainly we wanted to, as my friend said, warn you of a potential attack. We're heading to the north, and I know the old treaties of the dwarves have prevented y'all from interacting with dragons before, but we were potentially seeking aid to protect the Caldera,
We are a free people,
of course.
not bound by the treaties of the Meek any longer, or any of the treaties that preceded it, or nor do we owe any debt to the creators.
Of course, you're nowhere near the Obsidian Islands.
Correct. So, as far as aid goes, as long as you show no hostile intent, you are free to browse our wares as they are. Unfortunately, we've co-opted most of them in the defense of this town.
of course. And as I said, our main concern is making certain that any destruction and chaos is limited.
Our walls are warded, for the most part, and we have an entire enclave of magic users to protect us.
Excellent. That is reassuring. A lot of the other settlements have been decimated or outright destroyed. I think Overlook is one of the last ones standing.
I expect as much. We have not sent any scouts out. What with the kobolds attacking us, and then the fires, and then before that the sovereignty troops.
Yes, those pompous elves, and I realize how ironic that must sound coming from me, looking like them, but they are no allies of ours.
We made them the same bargain that we make you. Don't show any hostile intent, and you are free to move about the public sector of the fort.
Thank you. Let us take a brief moment and see if there is perhaps anything that we find that may be useful.
Absolutely. And all I ask, and there's nothing that we can truly offer for this, but all we ask is if you and your enclave of magic users can keep an eye out. We're not asking you to sally forth and save the day, but there is much of the Caldera that is left, as he said, in shambles that can't protect himself. So if y'all can either provide warning or aid to those who remain if there is another outflow of kobolds, it would be deeply appreciated.
We are equipped to handle a modest amount of travelers at the best of times, so provided it does not endanger the fort, they are welcome.
That is the best we can do. So thank you. Can you show the way to the goods and services? I could use a drink if nothing else.
He turns around, and so when you step in through the gates, there's just this large open area that is sort of bounded. If you think a U shape, if there's a main road going through the gate, just like straight back into the fort, there is a U-shaped block of shops and buildings, and he gestures and just says, "This front area is for the public. Do not," and he points, and there's another gate a little bit further in. Says, "Do not go past that gate, and you will be fine."
Of course, we're on a time limit anyway, so we'll quickly browse and then be on our way.
Yes, and he looks up at the sky. And says, "I imagine you have a good 5 or 6 hours before dark."
Right. So, shopping.
What are we shopping for?
Gundren's just going to look and see if they have any weapons that might be an upgrade from his, as well as imagine some. We're going into a cave, so probably some climbing gear and because I imagine whatever we've had has been lost in the last cave that we went into.
Yeah, you can find, we'll say, climbing kits for probably about 20 silver apiece.
And we only really need 3 of them.
Also, is there an apothecary or anything that might be able to help us identify the potions that Proud Scream left to us, or supply on any?
The potions, if you look at them, are labeled.
Okay. Including the do not drink one?
Yeah.
I'm going to write these down.
Yeah, so the one that says do not drink is an oil that you pour on your weapon.
On my fists.
I mean, you could.
I would prefer not to, though.
But it basically, Proud Scream has written on the bottle. You pour it on your weapon and speak the name of an element, and your weapon takes on that element.
I think we can give that one to you, because I can already do that.
And Suna can summon set things.
All right.
I just can summon fists. I cast these hands.
I cast knock.
The potions are, we'll say there's 2 antidotes to cure ongoing damage.
I'm going to grab one of those.
It
Paranoid.
It grants you an immediate save with a +2 bonus. And then the other 2 are healing potions.
And those are, I forget. Those are basically a recovery roll.
It is a recovery plus 1d8 with a maximum of 30. Which, I think I had one more card. I forgot to make a card for the oil. Yeah, so there's 2 potions of healing, whomever wants them.
Let's see.
I still have mine, my original one.
I think you two.
I was
Yeah,
going to say,
yeah.
we're usually the one
Yeah.
getting hit, so it's my job to get hit.
Yeah, it is. Thank God.
Talk shit, get hit.
And then any
That explains
weapons?
a lot.
Any weapons or anything that look interesting?
There are a fair number of dwarven weapons, but nothing magical or enchanted or anything like that.
What type of shops do we see?
So there is a sort of like a general store.
Mm-hmm.
All the goods appear to have been made here in all these shops, actually. There's a trade goods store, so if you need just like lumber or steel.
If we were mercantile
Yes,
in
if you were-
nature.
There's a bank. They will happily give you a loan. There are basically industrial carpenters, metal workers who focus on sort of everyday use stuff. So plows, home furnishings, that kind of thing. There's sort of like a general armorer, which is to say he has some weapons, some armors, but it looks like almost all of his racks have been emptied. And the two apprentices that are there are currently just like churning out crossbow bolts.
I'm talking to him. Can I ask him? Does he have any spare grease, like that we could bottle up?
You ask whom?
The armorer.
Oh,
Usually there's quenching liquids, maybe some grease, oils, anything slick that I could bottle up. I'm thinking back to the snot bottles about what I wanted to do with.
You could probably go talk to one of the taverns.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
I've got 2 crystallized basilisk guys.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone in here seems like they might be interested in those or have a use for them?
Maybe they point you towards. There's a small building that has just like a sort of a general arcane symbol hanging above the door. This is maybe him.
Right. While you hit up the taverns, I'll go in there and see. Who knows? Maybe they'll, at the very least, they might be interested in a trade for these, or they might be able to come up with some useful use for them.
You head over that way, and there is a dwarf who he looks more flesh than anything. He's sort of balding on top, and he actually has hair. His mustache and beard are coiffed into this like exquisite scene with a windmill and a bike, and the windmill is actually turning. And when you enter, he looks up and stands up and says, "Oh, customers.
Yes.
What can I help you with? I'm afraid our stores are mostly depleted, but I do have a fine selection." And he looks over and, like the bins are mostly empty. I have a selection of magical powders and goods.
Might I say, and I hope this is not too foreign to me, but your beard is a work of art.
Yes. I'm actually the champion, 3 years running.
Yes. Galdrian and Ardith have seen this beard before.
Yeah.
Well, I am definitely interested in perusing your wares. We are headed to the north and maybe fighting kobolds. I wanted to ask if you knew of any uses for crystallized basilisk eyes.
Oh, yes. You can actually. And he says, do you have one on you?
I have 2 on me.
Oh, wow. He holds out his hand.
I hand them out to him.
And he kind of concentrates on them for a second, and they start glowing. He goes, well, they're actually just concentrated magic, so you could break them into powder. We call that residuum. And then you can take that residuum and use it for enchanting or smelting, what have you. So they're just good general sort of magical, what would you call them, reagents. I think that's a good layman's term. And he hands them back to you, and they glow for like another second or two, and then dim down. He goes, I wouldn't put too much magic into those. They might still bite.
Good to know. I am not an enchanter. I just weave my magic through sounds that I make. But let me take a look at your wares.
I must apologize in advance. We normally only do bulk orders, but given the sad state of affairs, feel free to just order what you like, and we'll come to an arrangement. And he points and says, the guards took most of, and he kind of pulls up his fingers, the good stuff. but there may be a few potions still laying about. I think I have, and he holds up a couple of these square, like highly polished rocks, and he puts them on the counter and says, "I think I have a couple of these left. If you would like some enhancement on your weapons."
All right.
But otherwise, and he just gestures, like I said, to these sort of mostly empty bins of various labeled dried goods, crystals, powders.
Suna's behind you looking at all the crystals. And you hear
Where'd you come from?
the dropping of the crystals and
So-
looking and
So let's talk about that. It's actually nice because for a change, things are more on your level than
That's what I
like
figured.
these are dwarf-sized bins.
Yeah,
Galdrian's
that's
head is
what I
rubbing
figured.
against the ceiling.
No, like it's a large open wooden building, but Galdrian definitely has to stoop down to pick up anything.
That's what you get being cold.
Yep.
So is Iacus's head rubbing against the ceiling? Okay.
No, it's got like really high vaulted ceilings.
Yeah.
They're Galdrian probably remembers, but I think you guys have all been told like they're used to dealing with half giants
Okay.
Oh yeah.
from the southwest. So
Mhm. That makes sense.
You know, like your friend.
So
When you say enhancing the weapons, what do you mean by that? I'm not very
Oh.
magically adept.
well, you take this, and he hands you this very polished rock. He's don't say it, but there's a keyword, and when you say it, put it near on the weapon. It makes it preternaturally, supernaturally sharp and keen for a short while.
Well, that's
So
cool.
what
I didn't know a
happened-
rock could do that.
What happens if your weapon is your fist?
Oh well, I suppose. Are you referring to his?
Yes.
Oh well.
Little Suna doing like karate chops over there. No, mine.
He walks over and kind of picks up your fist a little bit and says, "Well, I suppose you could enhance your unarmed attacks with them."
Wink.
But when he flips it over in his hand, it does have a rune carved into it.
Cool.
right. How much in silver would you like for that?
And I set 3 rocks up next to him and look at Galdrian.
Galdrian gives Suna a look as if to say, "You don't expect anything."
Like just little crystals. Or,
Yeah, just little crystals.
Just like random crystals.
He
You
says,
dug through the mineral bin.
Yeah.
He says, "Well, I'd say 100 apiece, or if you wanted all 3, I'd give them to you for 250 and throw in those little ones. They're unfinished."
I don't have to have it. I was just curious.
We've got the silver.
I mean,
That's not even. That's not.
if we want to, okay. I was curious.
We've still got over 3,000 silver after I buy those. So,
Okay.
so Galdrian's like, I think I have enough.
What's the word?
Oh,
And are they reusable, or do they? Do
no,
they need
they
research?
they are
They are one and done.
correct. He says a word, and when he looks at you and says, "Oh, I forgot, you don't speak the people's tongue." That is, I suppose, you say that word, but it is offense, fight, something like that in your language. There's not an exact translation.
Okay. I'll stick the rock of smashing in my pocket.
Yep, so who aside from Iacus, who gets one?
Galdrian, Ardith, and you don't use
Nope.
your
Yeah,
weapons
she didn't
to
use-
attack,
yeah,
so.
I'm good.
But you do get those other miscellaneous crystals.
Yes. So when you use that item, it is a +2 rune of enhancement,
Is that just attack or attacking damage?
attack and damage.
Okay.
and it lasts for 1 battle.
Okay. 1 battle.
What's the action to use it?
It is a standard action to pull it and use it.
All I'm hearing is, okay, fight! See, I didn't do copyrighted music, but you know. You know.
I know. I know when
Deadly combat! Yeah, there we go. Fill in the blanks.
if only there was some sort of alliance. Yeah, he says, oh, well, I think that's about it for all my big ticket items. Unless there's something else you found in the bins you would like.
Just a quick perusal of the bins. Does it turn up anything particularly useful? I mean, Galdrian has probably seen a lot of this stuff.
How alchemically perceptive are you?
Iacus
What would
might
that
be
be?
because I was training with Shannara. I'll look through it too.
Roll for it.
Yeah.
You know,
Give me a
actually.
wisdom check.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and roll for it, even though it's not going to get anything.
21.
Nat 1.
Nope, nothing in this bin.
Galdrian's like, oh, I would like this alchemical reagent. Guys looks like, sir, that's the bin. No, Galdrian kind of looks, doesn't really see anything. I mean, there's stuff there, but you don't know how to utilize it. Iacus, you find enough to make some healing potions.
I'm gonna get them. Like, it would make Iacus feel good to make a healing potion.
All right, we're gonna need a card for crappy healing potion.
Yeah.
Or worst case, you could save it and give it to Shannara when we go find her.
Yeah.
Well, no, like for him, like he wants to try and make it, even if it goes horribly.
He's a good
Because then whenever he gets to Shannara, you won't believe what I did.
Galdrian died when I could have given him this potion, but I didn't, so I could show you. No, so you have 1 healing potion worth of reagents.
Yeah. Not the stuff to make it.
25 silver.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have any of the brewing equipment.
Yeah.
But
Right. And that's probably all of his wares that we...
yeah, I mean, he's still got stuff, but it's like they did, man. They picked him down
Yeah.
to the dust in one of the bins.
Well, there's kobolds out there, and they need all the help they can get. I don't blame them.
Any food shops?
The tavern, I have to go get some grease. You can join me.
Not like tavern, like
You know,
because obviously we're gonna be camping out in a cave or something, so I'm gonna want to cook something for dinner. Can I
Are
get
you looking for game or
Yeah.
preserved goods or?
something to make a stew or
Certainly, if you want to go to the mercantile, they have all kinds of things.
I could make us daffodil stew.
All right. You go ahead and I'll pay for anything that you think is useful.
Well, I'm gonna go get greased up then.
Nope.
Not touching that one.
Nope. And if he gets greased up, no one else is either. Yeah, Suna, you go to the mercantile, and basically you would have to buy spice in bulk or food in bulk, like 100 pounds, 200 pounds at a time.
I would assume I would have some of it. So is there just anything?
There's really nothing. Like
Nothing
there
different?
are things. So there are like jars of jellies and like pressed dwarven cakes and honey and things like that. But it's all in bulk. Iacus is able to, we'll say, finagle his way into getting a couple of,
Flask up.
yeah,
Well,
they just give you some old cooking oil.
yeah.
So
Means they don't have to dispose of it.
Mm-hmm.
the jelly,
Mm-hmm.
like how much is in bulk? Could I carry it?
It's probably, we'll say, like 2 silver per jar, and it is a literal crate of 100 jars of jelly, like a wooden crate with straw in it.
I don't think we're going to be
No.
buying from the
Yeah.
mercantile.
No.
Well, that concludes my needs.
All right.
Greased up?
I'm greased up.
Okay.
Let's head back out. We've got.
Oh, don't come near. Don't.
Well, I'm not actually greased up.
I was gonna say. Fire and grease is not good.
That's why they're under my coat.
Okay.
That's why I'm keeping my bag far away from you.
So you guys
Okay.
load up.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Jay, sees you. He's conducting some business of his own.
Mhm.
Gives you the hand, and the doors close behind you.
I'm gonna stand up and.
Right. At least one guard on the parapets looks around, awkwardly waves back. One of his buddies pushes him.
You made a friend. Way to go!
Blow him a kiss.
I'm
Maybe you should.
gonna turn around and blow him a kiss.
I'm trying to figure out what that would look like coming from a tiny box fan.
It's gonna look like I hit my nose and.
A boop a snoop. A boop a snoop.
Long range booping.
Ooh, little risque there.
Yep.
I'll grab the rickshaw.
Everybody climbs back into the rickshaw.
This is only working because it's, all
Yes.
decimated planes and sitting in all the time things. So.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see far to the north, couple miles. I guess it's probably to the northeast of you now. There is a structure built into the mountain wall.
And, hey, Suna, bring out the little rock things and tell me where I need to turn and whatnot.
Oh, I've got those.
Okay, Galgrid, bring out the little rock things and boop them together.
I boop them together. I was like, well, I think we're going towards that large structure.
Yeah, I think so too. Just make sure we're matching up. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that looks like where you're going.
It would be Iacus' luck to be like, this is where we're going.
And when I put the stones together, where do I see the dots?
So there's that one way down by the river and the lake that you're used to.
Mhm.
And then one, like I said, to the northeast of you.
Okay.
All right. No more sentimentality. We can set Mariana free by destroying her.
No sentimentality here. I was planning on murdering the bitch.
Hey,
I
that's
don't-
my line.
I don't think they'll let her die, but
This is gonna be a get in line.
Okay. Well, since I'm running in front, I'm front of the line!
So you guys can make me a good old-fashioned wisdom check for perception. We haven't had one of those in a while.
I'm going to apply my new background, Centaur Packmaster. Because,
yeah, boy.
awesome.
20.
This was not the
Would
one
my
I rolled.
survivalist count towards this?
Yes, I would say
Sure.
so. I would say so.
27.
Flying background, so 18.
23.
I don't have a dust cloud in front of me.
Yeah, so basically, there's this wind that has kicked up and kind of started blowing ash around and obscuring it. However, all of you come to the realization, as you get closer and closer, the wind dies down for a second, and there are figures standing in front of what is effectively a 50-foot tall archway that's carved into the side of the mountain. And they appear to be on all fours and are sort of a scaly red. And they're just sort of looking around. And they don't appear to have seen you.
What do they appear to? Do they appear draconic in nature?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you recognize the basic, lanky, thin-limbed shape of a kobold. But they're just sort of milling about, looking in different directions.
Okay, so
I'll
those-
stop and say, I think we should sneak up and kill those bastards.
I agree with that.
Stealth cow time.
So, it is literally a mile of just open territory between you and them.
That's going to make stealth very hard.
I can boost stealth on 2 people for 5
I
minutes.
can turn into
What?
a raven, fly over, and make them look a different way while y'all travel that mile.
A wild raven
Pull
chase.
them-
Yeah.
Pull them a different way. Would they be interested in a raven?
Are there any birds in the sky?
Yep. There's
It's
a
not a
couple.
bad idea
Yeah.
to turn
Yeah.
into a raven, and that will get you closer to them, but what about the rest of us?
I can boost stealth on the rest of us for 5 times. 20 minutes.
Yeah, you could probably get there
Yeah.
in 20 minutes. Not in a cart, but
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to leave the guard behind.
Yeah, of
because
course,
It's not stealthy.
Yeah, let's go with that plan. I like it.
The key to moving stealthily across an open plain is to stay low and to try to blend in.
Stay low, Cal.
I can get down and bear crawl my way. Like, I still probably move as fast as these guys.
Monk.
I mean, if I really want to. And I really want to, so.
Alright, so Suna's going to try to turn into a bird and draw them away. Alright, you're...
I'm going to use stifled sounds on the 3 of us, which means you guys get advantage on your stealth check.
Ooh, nice.
And it's a daily, so.
So we'll say, what are you doing to get their attention, Suna?
I'm making a bunch of noise and, doing my wings a lot, and then if that doesn't work, then I'm gonna swoop down near them for a pebble or something, fly back up, and kind of spit it at them.
So you 3 see Suna hop up, transform into a raven, and start squawking at them. And as she gets close, they clearly turn to look at her. And one of them, they're on all fours. One of them sort of sits back on his butt and points. And the other 3 just turn and look at Suna.
And I'm gonna try to fly just a little off to the side, so they're looking off to the side from the way these guys are coming in.
So you start flying near them, and one of them, if you think like a dog, the way they stand on their back legs, it stands on its back legs and is looking at Suna, and just kind of like walks over and reaches out a finger and tries to touch you. And if you flat back a little bit, like it steps forward a little bit more, and tries to.
Okay, I'm gonna get a little close, and the second it tries to, I'm gonna back up a little bit, let them walk a little bit, and get a little close, and try to at least keep them busy.
Well, so
Or the one.
only one of them's doing it. The other 3 are watching it.
Okay, at least
But
they're watching, but they're
they're
still watching.
still-
Yep.
Leave them in circles.
Yeah, it just like toddles forward and it's like tries to boop you, and then toddles forward and tries to boop you, and then after about 10 or 15 feet away from the mouth of this archway, it like stops and looks back over its shoulder, and then gets down on all fours and just pads back to sitting in front of the door.
So they are guards. But we are sneaking our way towards there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go back and at least try to keep their attention on me.
Yeah, so you start flapping, and all 4 of them are watching Suna.
Maybe if there's like a part of the building jutted out or something, I'll land and shake my butt or see if they're still watching.
So the 3 of you can roll me stealth as you.
I never gotten to roll advantage in this system. So.
28.
Okay.
Very good.
For being a giant fucking
Really?
cow. I'm like, it's Mushin impossible here.
So,
So
24.
Okay.
Stacks.
I know, 29.
Okay.
Damn.
Wow, all of y'all.
Got a 19 on the die.
So
Nice.
surprisingly, the one who failed was the sneaky one.
Was it 24?
Yeah.
I got a background of that.
Oh yeah.
Let's make it 27.
So then you do not fail.
She's like,
Always
I don't
background.
need any background. I'm like, I always will try and play one.
So Suna keeps these things preoccupied for the most part. We'll say there's probably a couple of moments where like Suna has, moved their field of vision out of a way that you were going. I think Iacus probably got the highest roll, so you're fairly.
Galdrin.
Galdrin did.
Yeah.
You're fairly certain, like, they had to have caught you out of their field of view at some point, but they're not. They're not doing anything.
That's just a cow.
Like, these things have, wide set eyes on the sides of their heads. So, Suna is like spinning some of them in circles because, she gets up on a ledge and one of them turns around and like reaches up and tries to poke her. And, when she spins back around, like he had to have passed over where you're standing very still, up against the mountainside. But he doesn't appear to be doing anything.
So, looks like he knew I was there. Or
he
like
should have seen us.
Yeah, like if you're standing up against a wall, like clearly his head turned in a way that you should have been in his eyesight.
He just didn't notice you.
He just didn't notice you.
Okay. It doesn't appear that they're like registering us and just not caring. Either. Yeah. Right.
Can we sneak attack them?
If you'd like.
I mean,
they're red dragon things. I mean, not to be racist, but
yeah.
we have
racial profiling.
So,
yes,
Yes,
with
we
both
are.
my fists.
About that. Now that you're closer, they are red, but they have weird patches of color on them.
Is my dagger vibrating?
No.
They are not draconic, or possibly.
That or you stopped wanting cobalt.
Let's. If I'm looking at them from this
Yeah,
close,
you're pretty close.
can I identify them, or at least get a better look at them and see?
They are clearly kobolds, like in shape and basic form. We'll say they have these weird patches of like red scale, like deep crimson scales, and some like sort of light greenish yellow, and some pink, and some purple spots on them.
So I'm gonna take a chance here since I noticed that they have kind of stopped and not attacking.
Mm-hmm.
When one of them goes to boop me, I'm gonna touch it with like a feather or boop it with my beak or something. I'm gonna touch it.
Yeah, as soon as flapping in place and you boop its claw, and when
Not painful or hurt it.
no, like you just lean forward and boop it on the claw, and when you do, it does this circle and like turns around and looks at the others, and then turns back around and looks at you, and then reaches up his other claw,
Trying to boop you some more.
trying to boop you again.
Did it feel weird? Did it feel like a dragon when I booped it?
I mean, it felt like a talon.
It felt like a talon.
It's acting like a toddler.
Yeah.
Do these look like abominations like the other kobolds that we've seen have?
Mm-mm.
These don't look.
They look like if you took a standard kobold, gave it digitigrade, like dog legs, and bent it over so that it was on all fours.
It's appear that these are even hostile. If they're regarding her.
One way to find out. Stand up for
We're
my.
getting close.
They all bounce on her. Iacus whistles. All four heads like snap to you. And then, 3 of them sit and one of them walks over to you. Stands up so that it's probably about 5 foot tall at its highest.
I'll hold my hand out like to a dog.
It reaches over and just like boops your hand with its claw.
I'm glad we didn't attack.
Then
It was your plan.
It gets real close to you,
Uh-huh.
sniffs, and like you can smell. It's got carrion breath,
Mhm.
basically. At which point it turns around, pads back over to the other 3, and sits down. And just between the 4 of them, they are clearly covering the entirety of the expanse of the horizon.
Okay, I'm gonna take chances here. I'm gonna swoop down and sit on one shoulder,
It looks at you. One of the other ones looks at you,
ready to take off.
reaches up, and boop. Boops you in the side with its claw,
But nothing else? Nothing else happens?
and then continues to just watch the horizon.
If it's watching so much, I wonder if it's linked with anything.
I wonder if it's guarding and doesn't really care about things that aren't going in.
Well, one way to
No,
find out.
yes.
And
Let
on
me try
that
to fly in.
on that note, I think that's where we'll stop for this episode.
We don't want to murder.
For a change.
Hey, look, the two non-murder people were the
did-
ones suggesting it.
I was not the one that suggested it. I was not the one that
I
did
still
it.
stand by my murder plan like 99% of the time.
Oh, look at you. Aren't you so non-hostile? Crack.
Yeah.
Look at that. He didn't even fight back. Clearly, I was justified. Yep. So that's where we'll leave off. You guys got anything?
It's good to be back, even though y'all noticed we never left.
Yeah, for you guys, nothing's changed over the last couple of months, but we haven't got to see each other in a while.
Potentially the audio quality. If it's worse, that's not my fault. It's just bad acoustics. If it's better, you're welcome.
Yeah, well, hopefully, if we get a couple more backers, we can do something about that.
Give us money and do mouth stuff so we can do mouth stuff to you. Better.
We're gonna do mouth stuff, but let's do better mouth stuff. That's gonna end up being welcome to the Average Adventuring Party podcast where we do mouth stuff.
Did we already use that?
Yeah. All right, so find us at the usual places on Patreon, our website, Facebook. As always, I'll link that stuff in the show notes. If you guys don't have anything, well, then thanks for joining us. We'll see y'all next time.